It's France 0, Canada 0.
These are the types of results against the types of opponents that you get excited about. 0-0, the final between Canada, ranked 49th in the world, against France, ranked number 2. As we welcome you back inside our One Soccer studio, Matchday Live, presented by CIBC. Andy Petrillo, Jordan Wilson, Christian Jack with you. Far cry from what we saw in the second half against the Netherlands a few days ago. Overall, how did you feel about this performance?
I mean, I don't want to cry. I mean, there wasn't a win. But look, it was 0-0, but it wasn't a 0-0 performance where Canada were just parking the bus. They weren't going forward. They believed, they competed. This was a full performance for me, KJ. Thursday was a good half, a good spark, a good start to the Jesse Marsch era and that attacking, I would say the organized football. But today they put it all together. The only thing missing, obviously, was a goal for Canada. But in terms of a team that was organized, that competed, that wanted it, they were there today, Canada. I'm elated and so proud of this side.
Yeah, it's hard to draw up a game where you expect them to be much better, right? Like, at the end of the day, considering, you know, you go through all the different phases of the game, right? Where you show a different tactical identity to them. You're still brave in possession. You create chances to win the game. You bend, but you don't break during that 15-minute to 35-minute where it was definitely all France and they created their best moments of the game. And you're able to get your best players in certain areas of the field that you'd be excited about, where you put arguably one of the best teams on the planet on their back foot occasionally. So, look, all in all, it's a terrific team performance. You could go all the way through everybody who wore the shirt on that field and talk about the strengths of what they were able to bring to that performance. It wasn't a performance carried by a couple of big players. It was a great performance, a truly great performance by Canada. And look, they'll be very, very happy.
Let's highlight one player, though, right now, as he is our Gatorade performance of the match, and that would be Ismaël Koné. And I think, KJ, a lot of people still had questions about whether or not this was the best kind of partnership between Stephen Eustáquio, which I think everyone agreed, heir apparent to Atiba Hutchinson. But would he and Koné really dominate that midfield? Do you think Koné's coming to his own?
Yeah, I thought it was tremendous. It's so amazing to see him so young and still being able to play like that. You know, to play in a midfield against the athleticism and the technical quality and the players that they've got in there, CanMNT and Griezmann dropping in and getting beyond in the pockets, creating opportunities. Look, there could have been a number of players who could have been man of the match for Canada today. Eustáquio next to him was terrific. Max Crépeau was very good. Cornelius and Bombito, exceptional. Davies was very good. Jonathan Day with a work rate. We can go on and on. I'm sure we've missed some. But to have a young player for Canada play at that level with that element of swagger and confidence on the ball, he did not shrink. His shoulders were high, and he played great.
He didn't look out of place, and that is a strong midfield. People can say whatever they want about Kanté and the move. This is still N'Golo Kanté you're going against. And CanMNT and the way he's absorbing pressure, Andy Petrillo. That's when you know someone has confidence in the midfield. When pressure comes and they don't rush. Things almost slow down for them. That's what's happening with Koné. So lucky to have him playing for Canada. And he just keeps getting better and better every time.
We are very lucky. He has that element of grace when he receives a ball where it's just very, very smooth. You know, the way he receives in pressure in tight, as you alluded to, the way he escapes pressure, he never panics. There's occasional times where he's passed the ball and he's lost it and he's got his head right back in it. He never looks like a player that other players are saying, I need you to keep going. He looks like a leader, but I said he's got that grace, he's got that ability to flow across the field. It just becomes very easy.
Yeah, I guess the weak point for Koné, if you think about 18 months ago, 2 years ago, is just tactically, how do you fit?
Yeah.
I think tonight, or today, we saw tonight there, today here, we saw someone that absorbed that and knows when to go and play tight, when to come and get the ball, when to slide over in certain positions. Especially when you play two in the midfield, it's huge that both of those guys know their role. He was exceptional in there.
And he is exceptionally fit. You know, when Alphonso Davies went to Bayern and they started to show these photos of what he looked like when he was younger with Vancouver compared to what he looked completely jacked with Bayern, pretty sure we could do the same thing with Koné. He just looks huge.
The man weight kicked in, Charles.
It did.
It comes in, you know, 21, 22, it just,
You are not knocking him off the ball. I feel like we could choose so many, especially right near the end, that brilliant save off of Kylian Mbappe for Max Crépeau. But we're going to go back to the first half here, our all-state save of the match. Crépeau getting the call today. It was always in Jesse Marsch's plans. Dane St. Clair played against Netherlands. Crépeau here. And KJ, I mean, he did not look out of place at all.
Yeah, that's a wonderful save, by the way. That's by far and away the best save of the game. You can see watch Max Crépeau's reaction to this. He understands to keep it on the ball. Look at that right away, and he gets up and he applauds himself. And I think it's the best save of the game by some margin. I am absolutely thrilled for him because, you know, what that guy's been through over the last 2 years since the MLS Cup final, broken his leg, fought to get it, missed the World Cup, comes back, been waiting for that moment to take on that shirt. Boyan moves on. Then the new manager comes on. He's thinking, okay, it's my shirt. And then he gets the tap on and said, Dane's playing on Thursday. Yeah. And by the way, he wasn't told on Thursday that you're playing on this game. Jesse Marsch only told him after that game, even though it was Marsch's plan all along. The goalies didn't know. And so for him then to go out there and put a performance in like that, you know, if Dane Sinclair was on pole position to be in the net in Atlanta before the game, you got to wonder now.
Competition, baby. Love to see it. We said it pre-game. But you have moments in games where you think about, and this is one for Crépeau, where he's like, this is where he's starting. He'll always think back to that 0-0 where he stood up against France, and he was there. No one can question on the day. We'll go through clips of him and the way that he made the right decision every time. I'm elated for him. This is a huge moment.
Well, and the one that I allude to right near the end there against Kylian Mbappe, that's a great example of somebody you always wonder when a player comes out, as we know that he did, and he challenged a few years ago in the MLS Cup final. That's how he broke his leg. Would they be fearful? Would they not want to do that again? Would they hesitate? He doesn't show any of that as we take a look at some of his saves here. And, I mean, they were coming at him from all angles, Jordan.
Yeah, you have to be cool, calm, and collected, and that's difficult with the fact. Look at this save. You can watch this over and over. The reaction time, this is 7 yards out, KJ. But he had to be on it today. He couldn't take his foot off the pedal at all. He had to stay in between the sticks. And for me, decision-making is huge for any player. But for a keeper, for me tonight, he didn't really make a mistake.
No, he didn't, and you could see he was ready for it. You know, this is a big one for me. An amazing opportunity. How many goalies would you see there would just continue to go through it and take the leg out and go, oh, give up a penalty and it's over. And then for this one as well, you can just, he knows Mbappe's shooting here. He knows he stands up tall and strong. It's a strong save. The other thing about Crépeau that doesn't get talked about enough is his mentality. I've had the fortune of covering this guy since he was a kid at Montreal, and now waiting for his opportunities, and he's had a lot of setbacks, and he comes through them, broken leg, you know, demoted back, not getting your opportunity, then waiting, and his self-confidence has soared. It's just like anything with maturity, gets older, gets married, has children, and his confidence and mentality now, he's ready to be at that level. Dane Sinclair may be ready as well, but his mentality is exceptional.
Well, quite the decision for Jesse Marsch to make here, as both keepers looking good in these two very hard tests against the Netherlands and France. We're going to be talking a little bit more about this game, but like in 10 minutes, guys, we got a CPL match we have to cover. York United taking on Vancouver. That is right. That is our match of the week. And then following that is match night, where we break down the week that happened in the world of footy. You know you're going to be talking about this one. Canada, yeah, they didn't score, but guess what? They held that guy off the score sheet, even though he came on and had some chances. That's right, 0-0 against France. Matchday Live, presented by CIBC, is on One Soccer.
Do we really have any choice at all?
Everyone has a choice, and every choice has a consequence.
Which do you choose?
Life's full of tough choices, isn't it?
How do you choose?
This is not just laundry. This is laundry that's one and done. This is the ultra-fast combo laundry machine that does both washing and drying cycles, so you can take a load off. This is cleaning large loads in about 2 hours. No more checking, no more forgetting. Profile is revolutionizing laundry, making any room the laundry room. This is GE Profile.
From the edge of your seat or up on your feet, let them hear you cheer.
Here's a look at your full-time stats. Canada managing 7 shots there. Obviously, France's goalkeeper not too busy with no shots on target. Max Crépeau a little bit busy. We brought you through his saves, 4 shots on target there. And you know what? Not too bad when it comes to possession. The Canadians still keeping it close there, 52-48 in favor of France. But here's the thing, even though there were no goals scored in this one, that doesn't mean the forwards, KJ, weren't working. That doesn't mean Jonathan David, in particular, wasn't doing things out on the pitch.
Yeah, I suppose what's a Canadian postgame show without me talking about Jonathan David?
That's your guy. Rightfully so. Keep saying.
Let's get some clips on this guy. Let's talk about him, okay? I want to highlight a few things here in particular. You know, right away when we pause it right there, this is the counter-attack, right? So this is an element where Canada were trying to expose France in the first 7 minutes. David is off at the races, and he's already, the word for me I'm going to use with this man is anticipating, because he's exceptional at it. So he's away. Buchanan's going to play what turns out to be a dreadful pass. But we're going to move on from that. Watch David throughout this play. So the ball's played in, David gives up, look at his body language, he's disappointed. Okay, but then he understands, no, I've still got a role to play here. CanMNT, Champions League winner, no, I'm going to have the ball off you. Wins the ball back right away, and then Canada has another opportunity to break, and David leads that break. Now, it doesn't lead to anything in particular, but look what happens. Now you've got France on the back feet, you've got Davies, David, Larin, and Miller all exposing them, and it all comes from Jonathan David's defensive work rate. This is another opportunity I want to show. And at this point, you've got Larin, and then you've got David. And David is exceptional at reading which defender he wants to go up against. Now, this time, you've got Koné. Now, he had a good game, but he's not a centre-back. He hasn't got the defensive quality as that. And David scores a lot of goals in France by exposing fullbacks' defensive tendencies. So this time, watch what happens as you go through it. Play it through. And David is really good at this, posting up and going right away through and understanding to win that ball. And now he set it, and then we pause it there. Now what you've got is you've got Upamecano who's shifted over. There's your centre-backs who shifted over to the ball. And because of David's effort there, a lot of strikers, I think, Jordan, might make this run. But that's not really a positive run.
It's not.
He wants to go this way, right? And there's a difference when you're defending a player like that.
Absolutely. One, because for Koné, it's very difficult to run back, see the ball, and see the man. But also, if David goes for the near post, that's one thing where it's easier for a defender, right?
Yeah.
If you can get in that blind spot like he did there, it's a headache for any defender.
The cross is poor, but the point is there. And now you've got another defender here. This time it's a different one. It's Koné, the substitute. Okay, it's a different task. Let's go up against a different player. Roll it through. Now you can see what David does this time. Now he's onside as we roll the clip through. You can see the work rate that this man has and the effort to read things all of the time. Now, when Davies makes that break, he's in. Watch his run to hold the onside and to understand the ability now to hold that run and see this as a way of getting beyond it. This is a goal. The only reason why it's not a goal is because of Saliba. Play it through and watch how the exceptional defending would stop it.
Yeah, Saliba, that big block. But look, this...
Look at that. It's a great chance. No?
His movement and the effort it takes to get into those positions. If he jogs, he doesn't get there. He's always moving and bursting into the space that he needs to. And you don't always see that from a striker, and sometimes the best player on the pitch. But that effort and that meekness and humility it takes to get there, that's why I love it.
It sums up Canada for me, the way that he worked today. It's been an exceptional game. Exceptional day.
4 halves, Netherlands, France, 3 of them. Canadians looked great.
Yeah.
If you're wondering about their confidence heading into Copa America, going up against those 2 types of opponents, I would say they're feeling pretty good about themselves. Next up's Argentina. By the way, we'll have more of a post-game breakdown. We'll hear from head coach Jesse March in Match Night. But first, we're going to get you set for a Canadian Premier League match between York United and Vancouver FC.